So this is Phil Ferguson, and we are getting ready for Gateway to Reason, which is going to be held in St. Louis, Missouri, July 28th through the 30th. And this is the second Gateway to Reason. The first one was a huge success, and he's trying it again. And we're looking forward to a big turnout. And hopefully I'm going to be introducing all the speakers and some of the attendees so people can get an idea of what they might find at a conference such as this. And Phil Ferguson, I've known you for about 3 years now, and I've seen you speak a few times, and you're going to be a speaker at Gateway this year, as you were the last one. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, a little bit about me. I was born at a very young age in Huntsville, Alabama, if you didn't know that. So I've got instant Southern cred when I need it, but
yeah, I know about your years in Arkansas, or Arkansas, as you like to call it.
Arkansas. I only call it that because it's illegal. Lived in Arkansas for 2 years, but now I'm in the southwest suburbs of Chicago. And I do a podcast called The Phil Ferguson Show, or as I like to say, the cleverly titled Phil Ferguson Show. It's such a clever title that I could not come up with it on my own. It's 1/3 finance, which is what I do for a living, about 22 years, helping people get to retirement, and about 2/3 secularism, atheism, humanism, all that kind of stuff. And then sometimes we go into random topics about politics and other economics, other things that might interest me, or even something random, because you know what? I can do anything I want because my name's on the freaking show. Of course, for about 10, 11 years, I have been promoting secular events, either donating to, underwriting, or speaking at conferences. A couple of years ago, I went to 14 of them in 1 year. This year, I took the first 6 months off because I was in the middle of moving to the Chicago suburbs. And Gateway to Reason is fantastic. And the listeners may know, or they may not know, but the first year was amazing, miraculous, almost put on single-handedly by Thomas Drew with some help from other people. But the second year, something didn't work. Something didn't work right. He couldn't sell tickets, even though he had a great lineup. Ended up having to cause a cancellation, which bothered and upset, rightfully so, a lot of people. But I wanted to make sure everyone knew that Thomas Drew has a underwriter, a guardian angel, someone with big money.
Yeah, this is a go.
Yeah, this is a go. This conference, even though it didn't happen last year, it will happen this year, and the lineup is huge, amazing. It's the who's who of secularism, and it's right here in the freaking Midwest. So, you know, a good half of the country can drive to it in under 8 hours. So please come see it. And of course, you can come see me. I'm going to give a talk on investing skeptically. I believe that we should apply our skepticism to everything in our life, including our investments. And so I talk about investment scams and ripoffs, and I got a new possible show topic just talking to a prospective client today that I might have in my show soon, and I might even incorporate it into my talk. So who knows?
Good, because if you're like me and have been to several events, I've seen you talk a couple times, and I've seen just about everyone speak at least once. Though I do like Matt Dillahunty because he wings it pretty much every conference, so his talks are always something new and interesting. But Seth Andrews is going to do a talk, and does a great presentation, being a radio guy. And Aaron Ra is going to give a talk, and his stuff is always fantastic. When I first became aware of you, you were talking more about family and the impact of religion on your kids, and now you speak mostly on money and being smart about it, and not being taken in by the same thing that basically gets people taken into religion.
Yeah, if anyone is listening that's running their own convention or thinking of doing it, or if you're in the Midwest and need a speaker, in the past I've done things on homeopathy, psychics, cold reading, a couple other topics that aren't coming up to me off the top of my head. But the first talk that took off really well and people started asking for it regularly was called Breaking the Cycle. And that was the one that was how to get kids out of religion. And the first time I even proposed a talk like this, there was gasps and people were clutching their pearls. That's what religion people do. And I said, yes, it is. And they do it for a reason, because it works. And I don't want to indoctrinate kids to atheism. I want to inoculate them. And I think that generally does lead to atheism, but it doesn't have to. But I think we need to spend a lot of time and effort as a movement making sure that we are learning from some of the religious organizations, and they've got a 2,000-year head start, and they have Sunday school, they have vacation Bible school, they have all this stuff to tell the kids over and over and over and over and over what they're teaching is true and what everybody else is teaching is a lie. I think it's fair that we dip our toe into that pool and say, hey, look, we're not going to say everyone's lying, but here's things you should look at. Here's how science works. Here's how you should think. And here's how you can be tricked. And this is what skepticism is. I think we have an ethical, no, maybe a moral obligation to do this, because how people think affects what they do, and it also affects how they vote.
That's one of the reasons why I really want to do this series of interviews, not only to introduce people to speakers such as yourself, but also to make them aware of these kind of conferences and these kind of events that are very important. They're educational, and they're very entertaining. Like this one, Thomas True has got a lineup of entertainers for Gateway to Reason. Steve Hill and Shelley Siegel and Keith Lowell Jensen.
Yes.
So he's got a huge lineup of entertainers. So this is going to be a very fun and entertaining conference. But there's other ones coming up. The American Atheist Convention is coming up in end of August, which is going to have a full solar eclipse just for them. And we've got Aposticon. Hopefully, they've rebooted in Nebraska, coming in, I guess, September. And Skepticon in
Springfield, Missouri.
So there's a lot of these events, and most of them are close to somebody. And I just want people to be more aware of them and get a taste of not only the people who speak at them, and also some of the people that attend these kind of events to see how much fun they are.
Well, another fun thing I'm doing right now, I'm doing my summer fun drive. I stopped doing this for a few months because I was in the middle of moving, and I wanted to make sure I knew what was available. I currently have, I'm asking people to donate to Arn Ra and his campaign for state senate in Texas. I'm doing a $1,000 match for people that give to Camp Quest. And I'm also doing a $2,500 match for both Black non-believers and American atheists. The American atheist link is not set up yet, but the others are. So, if you look on my Facebook wall, you'll see links. And even if you don't find how to get my match, go give some damn money, people. If you believe and you support these ideas, it takes money. It always takes money. Go give something.
That's one thing churches are very good at, getting people in the practice of giving money to the church. Like they need any Catholic Church. Most of that money goes to the Vatican, and they really need it. They need more gold plating on the
they have almost as much gold plating and gold walls and gold toilets as Donald Trump.
But a lot of these secular movements don't quite get the funding that they need, because a lot of people have this attitude, oh, you're an atheist, why should I give you money? The church needs our money. Why? Yeah, I don't know.
Something that I've seen since I got active about 11, 12 years ago, it does come down to money. And we need money to fight stupid laws. I think there was a thing in the news recently. Walgreens stood behind a pharmacist that refused to give a prescription based on their religious beliefs. I don't think that should be allowed, and I think we should be able to unite and spend a lot of money to hire attorneys and say, this is not the America we want. If your job is to dispense pharmaceuticals, then you freaking dispense what I bring into you from my goddamn doctor, and I don't want to have you go, I don't think you should get this.
And certainly the churches have more than enough money to defend anything that they do. I mean, if they're able to hide pedophiles for decades and then give millions of dollars away to buy off the silence of the victims, obviously churches don't need money. But the secular groups who are trying to fight for the freedoms that keep religion out of everyday life certainly do need a bit more money. And I appreciate all the effort that you put into help funding these kind of events, and also the different charities and Camp Quest, which is an awesome thing. The alternative to church camp, which some kids, fortunately not me, but I did go to camp, go to be indoctrinated and learn all about Jesus and how Jesus loves them. Camp Quest is all about basically being a kid and learning new things and
The
being
vast
skeptical.
majority of it is fun, swimming in the lake, going on walks in the woods, sitting around the campfire singing songs, and they do a little logic and reasoning and philosophical discussions on how to think, but they never tell kids that they're right or they're wrong, but they can just, like you said, they can just have fun and be kids.
Well, Phil, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. Hopefully everyone will get a bit more interest in going to Gateway to Reason. Again, that's going to be in St. Louis, Missouri from July 28th to the 30th. So it's a long, full weekend, and not too far from Chicago and not too far from anywhere in the Midwest. So it's easy to get to, and it's going to be a ton of fun.
Well,
and
thanks for having me on, and I
happen.
appreciate all the work that you do.
I try. Anyways, I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.